All right, welcome everyone to our world session for today is April 8th, 2025. So we're kind of going in a little bit cold turkey and switching up the energy. So one of the biggest complaints I've had over this week is that people are getting symptoms of what classically is in their body. So that I'm not going to work with every single one of them, but I'd like to work with repeat offenders, let's say, whatever the source is for the symptomatology that you could experience. Like if somebody has shoulder pain, hip pain, muscle pain, if somebody has um, cold symptoms, if somebody has cancer comes back, if somebody has headaches, dizziness, whatever's going on there. This repeat pattern that is just the symptom. I don't deal with symptoms. I deal with the source of the symptoms. So I'm going to look for, as I tune into this, so this is our agenda for today, what repeats in me. So you could think about your own, like what repeats within you. I have my own coming to my head again right now. So you could think about what repeats in you. And you don't want to be looking at the symptom. You just look and see whatever I'm about to say, which I don't know what I'm going to say yet, whatever I'm about to say, then allow that to support you. So I'm going directly into an area just above the navel. So it's about this much higher above the navel to the left a little bit. So it's a location, might not be in everyone, but the navel is really important. So we're going to um, look at the navel and wherever there would be contractions in the navel. That is your connection to mother. And mother gives us our mitochondrial DNA, right? It comes just from the mother. That's the alien DNA, they call it, alien DNA, because it's not, it goes right back to the primordial ooze. So that's kind of an interesting place to start the session. I'm already gurgling in the belly. So remember, we're working with the source. We're not necessarily working with the belly, but we would be working with that brain. So the gut brain is your marvelous brain that helps you intuit, gives you that gut response. It has billions of neurons in there, supposedly even more than the central nervous system. I was listening to that the other day. So oh, right. So we got a ton of neurons in the enteric plexus. That enteric plexus is great for communication. But think, if I've got a bunch of symptoms and I go, those symptoms, they need to go away. Why do I keep having these symptoms? Well, the root cause is telling us something in the billions of cells in the gut brain is repeating the pattern that is linked to mum's the mum's transfer of mitochondrial DNA. But then I'm seeing it go right back to the primordial ooze. That's when we were just beginning life as bacterium, right? And then going forward. So let's look at that. Let's look at that bacteria that is really important in the gut brain. We have some good microbes in there. We want to look at those and look at the competing microbes. So, yeah, this is linking now to the collective. I'm going to sneeze. So the collective, whoa, the collective consciousness. So here we go again. We've been looking at the battle, you know, in everyone, in politics, geopolitics. There's been a lot of difficulty. And what we're doing here is making sure we remain in that middle road so we aren't pulled in either extreme by our fears, so that we could be, let's say, the energy of reason. I don't want to say voice of reason because we don't need to necessarily talk. It's kind of like Caesar Milan when he's called the dog whisperer, and when he's with the dog, he can use his energy to help the dog calm down. And we can use our energy to help ourselves calm down. And then in turn, we can help everyone else calm down so that that collective isn't disrupting the gut brain. Because if I'm afraid of something, my gut brain is going to go all over the place. If I'm feeling like, nice burp there. If I'm feeling that, um, there's the whole idea of uh, expressing yourself and speaking. This has been something that I've looked at um, from the time I was a kid. Women would always say, I'm not allowed to express myself. My husband will let me express myself. And I found it fascinating, even as a 4-year-old, to be watching these women saying, I can't express myself, I'm not allowed to express myself, and yet they never stop talking, right? Camille Paglia has mentioned very often that she loves Real Housewives. I've never actually watched it. I think I saw a snippet of it. And she loves the show. And the reason she gives is she says this is just what women are like. Blah 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 blah. Coffee clutch. Blah 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 blah. And I thought, well, yeah, she's right. I don't think I could watch Real Housewives or whatever that is, but it's definitely certain that that is the way women are. Now, of course, there's a spectrum. Some women are quieter. Some are really really talkative. Of course but definitely we women like to talk. I was listening to Jordan Peterson talk to someone who wrote to him and said, I, I don't think I can keep listening to my wife. My wife talks and talks and talks. I don't think I can keep listening to her. It's too much. It's just too much. And Jordan Peterson said, I'm pretty sure it was Jordan Peterson said, well, if you don't listen to her now and you don't really listen to what she's saying, you'll have to be listening to it in divorce court. So you better listen now. So, it's very interesting, this whole, yes, it can get too much, but when you're in a relationship, whether it's women or men, we need to have the ability to express ourselves, but we also need the support of, let's say, our partner or a friend to help us express what we want to express. Not expect it. I don't expect it of my friends or my partner, but I can tell my partner, please help me express myself. Help me, ask me questions to refine what I'm thinking so I could say it properly and you'll be able to really hear what I'm saying because it's really important to have this communication. I think this is really, 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 really important, especially since the gut brain is the intellect. The gut brain helps us discern. And if we're speaking and our intellect is trying to figure out what to say, just like I'm feeling something from my gut and trying to figure out what to say. I want it to be organized. I want it to be comprehensible. I don't know if it is. Some people write to me and tell me, God, that session was great. But I don't know if there are parts that are not understood. Do I need to learn how to clear it? Well, at least we can start clearing the gut brain to allow that verbal communication to be a lot stronger. Again, microcosm, macrocosm. If I and all of us are better able to express, the gut brain is working a lot better, then we can absolutely be part of the changes in the world. The changes in the world, right? This is the world session, so everything is microcosm, macrocosm. There is no blame here. There's just, how do I want to make things better for myself and better for everyone around me? That's what we want, don't we? We want it to be better. That does not, I'm not precluding that there are people who are resentful and there are people who would like to see other people fail. And there are people who would like to do that. But for the moment, if we could just leave those people on the periphery. Leave them on the periphery. We know they exist. Just like, people exist on a spectrum, just like people exist without an arm. But we can be that majority, that great, even if it's not the majority, the greater energy of balancing the gut brain and balancing our ability to communicate, not push ideas, not think something's different, but well, maybe the idea, I think I need the idea. And I hope everyone agrees that we want to all be happy, healthy, and successful. That's what would be lovely. We should all have success, even if somebody is missing legs and an arm. I want that person to have happiness and success in their lives as well, not just some people. And we know life is not fair. We know that, right? We know there's certain people. I was just listening to uh, someone talking about people who can express themselves really well, can get far ahead in life. They may not be, let's say, the best practitioner or the best at their job or the best at what they do, but they can communicate really well. Isn't that fascinating? So it's not fair. They might not be good at what they do, but they sure as heck can communicate it, right? Hopefully those people also can say, all right, I'm really good at communicating what this is, but now I'm going to also promote the people who are good at it, who don't actually communicate it well, but they're good at it. I keep thinking we're all in this together. Like even the disruption in the gut brain when that occurs, or disruption in our nervous system, uh, when we're like one of the things that I always check on at the end of the day is, oh, I'm feeling uncomfortable or I don't feel so well. I kind of look and go, well, is it me or is it what I've taken on from my day? And I try to help get that out of my body just by noticing that something is not mine. It can help, right? And then there's also sometimes we um, over over care, I guess would be the word. And if we over care, then it might become part of us too. So, but we can still look at it. All right. So there's definitely a lot moving in the gut brain. So let's get the gut brain. So we're looking at primordial ooze, that primary bacteria. And that's another interesting thing. I wonder if this is why it's coming up too. They've recreated a wolf from something they found in ice. So they've cloned a wolf, which is really, really interesting. I keep seeing it on. I didn't really look at it, but I saw that they had brought back to life a particular wolf. What is the wolf called? Let me see if I can find it for us. Wolf. No, cloned. Let's see if we can get it. No. Yeah, it was extinct. The dire wolf. Yeah. They cloned a dire wolf. I don't know what year it's from. It first existed over 10,000 years ago, and they brought it back. Endangered species could be changed forever. That's what they're saying. That doesn't matter. But they brought back this wolf. So, when you think about, we go back to the primordial ooze and what's going on in the belly, and you know, when way back without all of the city and the internet and um, all of this electricity and connection that has really reduced the functioning of our gut brains, we are not so in tune with our intuition. It's like there's too much noise. But if we're going back and we're allowing that intuition, the gut instinct to work better, right? Because a lot of people go straight to fear. When they go straight to fear, they don't think anymore. They just don't think. It's like, no, just think about how things work and you can calm write down if you're thinking how things work. And I'm sure you could think about big fears going on for a lot of people today. It's time to get that straightened out in our gut brain so we know where the problems are in our lives and be able to heal those problems, heal the gut brain, heal everything in our, not only within us, but within our friendships and our relationships and our families, etc. All right, so let's hold the belly. I'm actually rubbing my belly and I'm just tuning into, let's get this um, distraction, I think is the word I want to use, distractions out of the gut brain and allow the gut brain to see clearly so that it helps our heart brain and our head brain, especially the functioning of the head brain to bring that those systems online that we need to have online. And then the intellect to work properly, small intestine, heart, and the prefrontal cortex. Oh, all right. Wow, that was a nice release. Yeah, I'm getting eye clarity. Definitely can see quite a bit better. Definitely. Hmm. Okay, so since I'm seeing a little bit better, I think I want to take, let's do some filter release to the five senses. So touch, hearing, sight, taste, and smell. All right, let's get all of those to remove those filters so those senses are nice and clear. Whoa, that's a lot of burping. Hmm. Definitely something going on with the burps today. All right, there we go. And have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.